Have you ever wanted to play with the best teams of all time? Or dynasties that went down in the Football Hall of Fame? Well, now today, that's possible here in FC25. Starting from all the way back to the 1950s, through to present day. Just like how NBA 2K has its very own official ERAS mode, this PC mod adds the feature into the game for EA, doing all the hard work for them, and it's called the Classic Club Teams patch by Shadowboy32, the GOAT of the modding scene. And trust me lads, you haven't seen anything like this before. This mod will blow your minds. Let's launch it up and explore everything it has to offer. Today, I want to unpack all that attention to detail that has gone into this modded project and see how it's brought a FIFA ERAS mode to life for the first time in franchise history. EA have never really been ambitious with a feature like this, probably due to the licensing issues and just, all the image rights. That would be way too much work for EA, especially if this mode wouldn't be monetized. So just forget about this happening in the near future. So this is where mods come in and save the day. Now it's an absolute treasure trove of football history. It's like going into a time machine. You get this nice little nostalgic retro video once you launch up the game where you can go back in time and experience all the greatness and nostalgia again, as this mod adds over 300 time-specific club teams from all throughout football history. So this is going to be one of the most complex and in-depth retro mod databases I have ever used. We've loaded up the squads right there. If you do want to check out this mod and go ahead and support the project, I'll leave the Patreon link down in the description below. Or if you want some free mods, I've got a whole range and documents and resources full of mods that I've used throughout the year and that are completely free to access. And this is where the magic happens. We have a whole list of teams from before 1975. Another era included from 1975 to 1980. Next up is 85 to 1990. These next two eras are for all the 90s football diehard purists. We have 1990 to 95, 1995 to 2000 to close out the millennium. And then this is when I and most people my age started watching football. We've got teams from 2000 to 2005, my literal childhood, 2005 to 2010, entering the 2010s with the 2010 to 2015 era, and rounding off the decade with 2015 to 2020. The least retro and nostalgic period of this mod is everything after 2020. That'll do right now for the specific time periods, but hold on, there is even more content to explore. We have a rest of Europe section which just has random teams from random moments in time. For example, 2008 Portsmouth, 4.5-star team, killing it in the Barclays Premier League at the time. Kanu, Krangjar up top, with Diarra and Sully Muntari in midfield. Sol Campbell at the back, the captain, James in the middle of the sticks. What? This Portsmouth team was crazy. They had a young Begovic at the time too. Before we start digging through all the team sheets and players, we also have a rest of Europe Classic 2. So another section of just random teams from random moments in time, the most recent being Real Madrid 2024, but that's neither here or there because we have one for the South Americans. Oh, they're eating good in this mod, as the Classic Libertadores section has famous teams from over the years in South American football. We even have like multiple versions of Boca Juniors, for example. So 2012 Boca Juniors, 2007 Boca Juniors, where they won the Libertadores. We also have that 2015 River team that won the Libertadores, and again, yeah, just multiple versions of the same clubs, and even some get treated to all-time status. So okay, Colo Colo all-time team, this is what it looked like. These are all the historic players that have once played for the Chilean outfit. And again, someone like me who's not really that familiar with South American football as much as I am with European football, you can learn a lot from this mod. You can discover clubs, players, and eras that you've just missed out on watching over the years and kind of re-experience that here in 2025. With current day technology, we've got 1940s River Plate. I think this is the oldest team that this mod adds into the game, and it has got some absolute ballers on this squad. We've got Alfredo Di Stefano before he moved to Real Madrid. The hotshot striker was only 21 in the 1940s. We've even got some photos in black and white here. That's how old these player pics are. I'm surprised some are even colorized. But wait, there's more. If you want to get even more specific with it, we've got a Brazilian Classic League with classic squads from Brazilian football history. So for 1963, Santos with Pelé leading the line, winning them the South American Championship. All these classic rosters are here preserved and up to date, like 2000s Vasco da Gama, for example, with a strike partnership of Romario and Edmundo. We've still got more to go as we have a CAF all-time. So basically African teams and Saudi teams, their all-time rosters are in here as Al Hilal, Al Ittihad. We've also got, you know, some Egyptian teams in here like Al Ali, just to give African and Arab football their own little spotlight here. And if we weren't treated enough, we've got our very own European all-time section with some of the most famous clubs in world football and European football, of course, with their all-time rosters just in their own little section, just if you wanted to use them and have fun with them in career mode and tournament mode. Yes, this mod you can use in kickoff, tournament mode, career mode, play a career. It is fully compatible. Just don't connect to the servers, otherwise you might get EA knocking at your door. Because as the cherry on top, the icing on top of the cake, in the international team section, we have every single nation having their all-time squad available. So if you go into a World Cup, a Euros, or just any international football whatsoever, you're going to come up against ballers from every single era, from every single generation. Unfortunately, it doesn't add any new national teams into the game. So these are just the nations that we have in the base game, but they've all been juiced up to all-time ratings and all-time squads. So every single country in here has a 5-star outfit. Now, not just historic specific eras and clubs it adds to the game, but also brand new real world managers from the time. For example, in the after 2020 time period, we've got Hansi Flick at Bayern when he won the Champions League in lockdown. We've also got Thomas Tuchel at PSG, Frank Lampard at Chelsea, Ole at the wheel with that 2021 Man United team, Jurgen Klopp still at Liverpool, Unai Emery with that Europa League winning Villarreal team. And let's work our way backwards here with the likes of Jose Mourinho at Manchester United when they won the Europa League with Zlatan, Pogba and all that. He's here alongside Poch at Tottenham. The Manuel Pellegrini era at Man City. Eric Ten Hag still at Ajax. Luis Enrique, a younger Luis Enrique at Barcelona. We've got a younger Jose Mourinho, a treble winning Inter. The special one back when he grew out his long grey hair. We've got Andreas Villas-Boas at Chelsea and Porto. Roberto Mancini at Man City winning the league with that Aguero moment. We've got Jupp Heynckes as he managed the 2013 treble with Bayern. Villanova at Barca. Didier Deschamps at the helm at Marseille before he jumped to the French national team. Let's just go all the way back. 1975 to 1980. Only has one coach available. The GOAT, Giovanni Trapattoni, managing Juventus at the time. But you can see the detail that has gone into this mod, even adding managers from back in the 70s and 80s. Another famous Italian manager, Sacchi. We've also got the classic Europeans also get their all-time managers involved too. From 1995 to 2000, you get Louis van Gaal at Ajax, Kenny Dalglish at Blackburn. See, I'm even learning things here because I didn't even know Ruud Gullit managed Chelsea for a bit throughout the early 2000s. We've also got Bobby Robson at Barcelona again. I'm just learning things. Even me, your go-to beacon of football knowledge, can learn a thing or two from this mod. And you might be seeing multiples of the same manager, but some of them actually get different variants. Like Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, we get a younger version of him. So I like that little differentiation and realistic attention to detail. Same as Sir Alex Ferguson. You can see his young version here before he moved to Manchester United at Aberdeen in the 1980s. Yeah, so I think that's what makes this mod really special. Not only do you have all the classic players, but also the managers of the time, and the possibilities with save ideas and career mode experiences you can, you know, spark up on the fly. It's just endless at this point because the realistic details are absolutely out of this world. We've got Bobby Robson managing up Porto. What was this Porto team from 1992 to 94? I'm telling you, this mod is one for the football purists. It takes a lot to blow me away nowadays with mods, but I've been absolutely stunned in this case. Not only just the retro vibes and nostalgia about it, but the wide range it covers. Like, we've got teams from South America, Africa, Europe, and we haven't even touched upon all the retro graphics, like retro kits, retro badges, and all the old school flavor it also comes with. It's a brilliant little package that is worth your time. But now I want to take a deep dive into career mode and do some simulations in every single decade, every single time period possible. So we're going to kick off things with the before 1975 era and work our way through in chronological order until we hit present day, and you get a lovely little loading screen for every single era. Depending on which one you pick and fire up for a save, you get some nice little moments and classic teams welcoming you in, just really setting up the vibe. And here we are, 1975 it is, with the Ajax squad from the time. This is the only manager available, so we're going to rock with it here. So this was like the best players they had at that time. Of course, it's Cruyff leading the line, and I think that's the only player I recognize here on this roster. So again, there is so much to learn, so much to sink your teeth into. Here are the clubs also involved. We've got the likes of 1950 to 1953 Barcelona, 56 to 58 Milan side, a league made up of 12 teams. These were the big giants, the heavyweights of football from back all those years ago. You can see some familiar names, but the likes of Celtic, 67 to 70, won a few European Cups. You've got Rems in the late 50s. A lot of things to look forward to. We've also got a cup competition, so just another piece of silverware to throw in. We have 11 different eras to simulate through and certain time periods to explore right here in Manager Career. But before we dive into the full-blown simulation, I wanted to show you how this mod is applicable and how you can also play with this in other variations of the offline world. For example, Kickoff. I think this is the most optimized way to play, and one where you can just pull off fantasy team exhibition matchups that I think are going to provide some fun entertainment and some fuel for debates. For example, how does the 99 treble winning United team face up, match up against the 2023 treble winning Man City team? Or how would a prime 1950s Barcelona team face up against the modern day footballers? Or what about, I don't know, 1990 Liverpool versus the 2010 treble winning Jose Mourinho Inter team? Like, the combinations and possibilities are absolutely endless with this mod. And you get all the retro time specific kits too. It's a sight to behold, and it's just a wonderful experience once you tuck in on match day. Again, invite some friends over, just do some simulations whilst you're at it. You can use a bunch of retro balls, as you saw there. The referee, I've got the old 1950s leather ball activated. So that's what we're working with today. All the players from the 1950s and before are going to feel right at home. Mate, the current day players would be lucky if they don't get a broken foot just by kicking this thing. Anyways, it's just a dream, just playing these dream matchups and doing all these dream time scenarios in your head, these fantasy exhibition games. It's honestly half the fun. This mod is absolutely incredible. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but if you don't get it by now, you'll never get it. Like, this is a work of art. And I just thought of this now. Imagine you could do you could replay certain Champions League finals and big games. For example, 08 United versus 2009 Barcelona, 2006 Barcelona. You can do the Arsenal Barca rematch. Yeah, let's do that one. 2006 Barcelona taking on 2006 Arsenal in a rematch of that final. And this is where your creativity and exploration can run wild, and you could just play through all these different kickoff scenarios and have a blast in the offline section, showing you that this mod is versatile. It's not just for career mode. It can be utilized in so many areas of the game and allows you to just relive football moments, replay finals, have dream random team matchups from different decades and different eras. There are so many different ways you can approach this mod and just have your own fun with it. Whether you're rewriting history or exploring Football Hall of Fame, you're not going to be disappointed. And in kickoff mode, I'm just, loving seeing all these old player faces, the retro hairstyles, the retro kits, the fans doing the Poznan, all the retro banners and flags in the backgrounds. It's like the more you play with this mod, the more you get to grips with it, the more little details you find out along the way. You could also fire up this ERAS mode squad file in a tournament mode and launch your very own custom tournament where you could just have all the teams you want participating, load up a custom tournament, whatever format you like, maybe a group and knockout like Club World Cup-esque. And bam, we've already gotten some teams from different eras just randomly thrown in here for us. We also have some normal teams, so this is where you could probably go in and just replace them with whatever teams you want to include, where you could create and jumble up your entire tournament filled with different eras, different time periods clashing together to see who would come out on top. The 2015 Barcelona won the Champions League, so they get the trophy next to their badge. That's how you can tell, and it varies for each competition. I'm sure you've seen it pop up throughout this video. We go from 1963 to 2019 to the 60s to 1984 2001 Leeds, 2013 PSG. We've just got some random cult classic teams in here as well. And also, we have a couple double ups here. A variation of the same team, like Arsenal in 2006 versus 2000 Arsenal. And you could probably also do like a Champions League only winners tournament. And that's exactly what I've done right here. Assembled a Champions League winning team only tournament to find out who exactly is the ultimate Champions League winner from over the years. This is something impossible. You can't do this in real life. Bring back all the old teams from the past head to head in one tournament, but this is just an example of the possibilities. Every single club has the trophy next to their badge, but again, I'm just showing you guys what is possible here, what kind of crazy concepts you could pull off. You could customize every single group to make sure they're randomized. I'm just going to click randomize a bunch of times. You can do all the tinkering and customization you want. I've created a new tournament, the super tournament I'd like to call the UCL Winners Cup, and this is what it looks like. 32 teams, 32 different winners, everyone spanning across decades, famous players, winners all throughout history. And again, if you wanted to be more careful with it to avoid double ups and that, you could have here, as we have two AC Milans in Group H, 2006 Barca versus 09 Barca in Group G. But again, this is what tournament mode is good for, to see these crazy cups and simulations play out, these custom tournaments where you could see your favorite teams go head to head and do battle. And look at this 08 United squad with Sir Alex Ferguson at the helm, man. Bring back the glory days, because I'm starving right now. On match day 1, opening match, it's 2008 Manchester United versus 1986 Steaua Bucuresti, and we've got Pierluigi Collina as the match referee. Like, where else in football gaming can you experience something like this? Seriously, I'd just buy FC25 on its own at a discount just for this mod. Come on guys, summer sales are on. FC25 is the cheapest it's ever gonna be, and trust me, this mod, although it's not free, is worth every single penny. I've got some more extra free mods running in the background, so if you aren't in the mood to spend money on like actual paid mods, I've got a whole bunch of free mods you can access, linked down in the description. And I mean, where else are you gonna experience something like this? A mod that covers multiple time periods, multiple eras. There's something for everyone, whether you just fell in love with the beautiful game like a month or two ago, or you're an old school tragic and nostalgia diehard that just wants to relive the memories. Because if you think about it, teams before the 90s didn't really have a team, didn't really have a video game they could be represented in. So for the majority of these OG retro teams, they've never had a chance to shine in a video game before, and that's what's so beautiful about all of this. You could see some modern day greats up against the old school dogs from the 90s. Maybe you can get your answer to who's better, which Real Madrid Champions League winning team is the best, 2022 or the three-peat. You can get your answer right here, and of course it was always going to be the three-peat with BBC up front. But this tournament I've created right here is a video in of itself. The content with this mod is absolutely amazing, and there's even more. If you really wanted to match the time period and have all the assets time specific, what you can do is actually change up the exact match ball and find the perfect retro ball you want. I've got it on classic, but there are so many from every single time period, covering multiple eras and decades. We've pretty much got every single World Cup ball in here too, from the 70s all the way to the present day. The modern day match balls are still here. They haven't been deleted either. So you get an expanded ball pack with a whole range of retro options to choose from. Starting with this one, the ERAS UCL Champions League final ball. You've got a couple variations of that, a Europa League final ball with the OG branding, the OG ERAS logo. So many match balls you've forgotten about over the years, like the 2012 Euros match ball. We've got the OG, oh my god, we've got the 2011 Premier League ball, the Barclays, proper Barclays Premier League ball when Nike. You've got the La Liga with the OG BVBA logo, man. The nostalgia going through this. The OG League One logo too. How about treble winning 99 side United with York, Cole, Giggsy, Scholes, Keane in the midfield, Beckham, man. This team was filled with icons up against 94 AC Milan, and it's a 1-1 stalemate draw. What about Hamburg, the champions in the 80s? Can they do it against 2011 Barcelona? And no. And I just love how you can compare football from the 80s to see how it compares to the modern day game. Brother, I'm just getting lost in this mod. Wherever this mod decides to take me, that's where I'm going. That's where the video is going, because there is too much to cover. There's too much to go through, and I feel like a kid in a candy shop right now. I don't know what to do. I'm just scrambling. What a matchup we have here today. Messi in his prime at 27. That's another feature I haven't covered yet. All the players have their exact age from that time. So Messi in, Barcelona's early 2000s team is going to be younger than he was here in 2015. And prime MSN is back in attack for Barcelona. I mean, where else could you pull something to this grand stature off? Where else could you do this besides NBA, playing with basketball teams from different eras and different decades? This is a first, and I can't believe I'm actually pulling it off right here. I can't believe my eyes. Forget Ultimate Team, the career mode and offline player base is forever eaten good with PC mods, baby. I'll stand by that. I'll be a testament to it, as it's Paulo Futre. Oh my god, he couldn't even get a penalty pass to Stegen. Yes, I'd recommend tournament mode if you don't want any crazy transfers happening or players moving clubs, like we're about to see in this career mode save. There is a disable all transfers mod that I'll leave down in the description, part of MCK's realism mod, which just stops any and all transfers from happening throughout the game as long as you have it turned on. So you won't see random players moving to different time periods, moving to different eras. But just for right now, I've got transfers turned on, so you're gonna see a whole bunch of random stuff happening. And bro, just seeing all these old school players, all the old school badges and the retro pictures, I don't know, bro, just tugs at the heartstrings. Obviously, I didn't grow up in these eras, but just seeing them in a video game, seeing them represented, it's something special in of itself, and we can give them the gift of transfers, mega money moves that they didn't have back in the day, and it looks like the majority of them weren't even purchased with money. We've got a whole bunch of free agents that I had no idea about. That's what I mean when you just continuously find new features and additions in this mod. We have different variants of Ronaldinho, 194 rated, 193, who's a cam. That's what I mean, bro. You're never gonna run out of fun or something to do in this mod. There's always something that's gonna catch you off guard, catch you by surprise. You've got two different variants of Messi. Oh, brother, a 19-year-old Ronaldo. How old's Messi here? 28. Let's sort it out. Who spent the most money? And it's going to go Marseille, signing Roberto from Bayern Munich. 128.8 million pounds is the record. The 19-year-old attracted top dollar, just like Gary Neville, moving to treble winners Inter Milan from 2010. 110 million pounds spent for both him and Schnellinger, looking to buff up their defense even more. A lot of 100 million pound transfers going down. What a name, Gilmar Fuba. He looks chunky as well. The exciting prospect has made the plunge to Milan from Corinthians. That just looks wrong. A young Edgar Davids without the iconic orange goggles. Nah, something's up. This doesn't look right. Yeah, that's better. Peace is restored in the universe now. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to see if you do enter career mode without the transfers disabled, like a 2009 21-year-old Gerard Piqué joining 1990 Benfica, or like a young Christian Eriksen at Ajax, 20 years old, moving to Milan in 1989. You don't even get any easy layups in your preseason tournament invites. Look at every single preseason fixture is up against an all-time team or up against one of these ERAS mode teams. There are 8,000 newly added players to the database spanning across football history. And I know you guys can't hear it right now, but the actual soundtrack has been changed too. So instead of the FC25 base game songs, you're gonna hear random classic nostalgic tunes from like the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s even, to not only change the visual aspects of this mod, but also the audio and the music of the time, the different, sounds you're gonna hear throughout whilst you're in your playthrough. I can't play it because of copyright, but you get the idea. But if you want hectic chaos and just random players on random teams to see who goes on to play for who, this is the mod for you, because the transfer frequency is absolutely insane. Just look at the sheer quantity of deals going on. We've got an expanded database, and oh my days, we have an expanded transfer market because there are deals on deals, and this is just one summer transfer window. We've barely scratched the surface. I'm going so fast through this that the game doesn't even have time to load to show us all these transfers going down. I swear, I've seen about 5 different Messi variants. I found the youngest right here at 18, just when he started to break out of the La Masia Youth Academy. He's been loaned out to Palmeiras. Oh my God, the OG ERAS logo. You've got the retro sponsors, Parmalat on the front of the shirt. The nostalgia's getting to me, bro. David Beckham at Leeds. What is this? Get it off my screen. I feel like what goes underappreciated is their real time-specific ages. So Pele back in the 60s or whatever was 19, on the verge of winning 3 World Cups in a row. We've got Ronaldo in his mid-30s moving to Atletico Madrid's Europa winning team, because usually when you add icons and heroes to career mode, they all just set to 18, 19 years old. They're not actually time accurate. So it's just another cool thing to consider with this database. We've got both young and old David Beckham moving to Leeds United in this universe. Now I'm just in the mood to watch 2 juggernauts go at it, go head to head in a one-off battle in both the club scene and on the international stage. First up on the international circuit, we have what's considered the golden team of the 50s, the Hungarian national team, widely regarded as the best to ever do it, coming up against the 1970s Brazil squad, who won the World Cup in 1970 and had a dominant period in the 60s and 70s. I could have matched them up against England, as these two sides faced off in the so-called match of the century in 1953, but I've opted for the Brazilians here, and both outfits actually have their accurate players for the time. So this 1950s Hungary team, the ERAS mod has single-handedly recreated it in their all-time national team, because coincidentally in the 1950s they were the best Hungarian players of all time, similar to Brazil with the likes of Pelé, Jairzinho, Rivellino in midfield, Gerson. The only player out of place is Dida in between the sticks, but that's neither here or there, as we're going to watch these 2 iconic squads in action in this little fantasy scenario that we've created. And it's cool to see like players from the 50s actually getting their faces in the game, or at least some of them, like the main players. It's an awesome detail, as most of Brazil's squad have their real faces in the game. That's just a given. So Ferenc Puskás will kick us off. Here we go. Now, unfortunately, Hungarian football has never really recovered after the demise of this golden era. This golden crop of players that came through never actually won a World Cup, but here they are up against Brazil, giving it a fair shot. However, Brazil in the 70s were an absolute powerhouse with the emergence of Pele onto the scene, already won multiple World Cups, and the Seleção were a feared opponent in any realm of endeavor. But here we go, as Hungary on the counter-attack, and Dida again. Garincha, it's back and forth this game. Look at the space opened up here for Jairzinho, trying to link up with Pele, but he might do it all himself, and it's cannoned off the crossbar. Here we go, Didi, who is actually the manager of this 1970 squad. I just decided to throw him in here as a player as he tries to set up Pele on a 1v1 opportunity. The Hungarians again, always looming, and now Kojic goes bang. What a shot from Ferenc Puskás's strike partner, and he's stealing the headlines here with an absolutely worthy goal. The golden era Hungarians getting off to the perfect start here. They're using their trusty leather ball. He took the defender out, Tonino getting absolutely humiliated, and it took 36 minutes for Hungary to get the opener, but Brazil want an instant response with Pelé. I am not in control of either side, so yeah, obviously I've got no control over the substitutions. The 1970 squad bring on R9 Ronaldo. As Brazil on the set piece, Jairzinho is going to take it from the dead ball spots, and it cannons off the crossbar. It's still reverberating as we speak, opting not to pick out Pele. Finds Garincha, and the cross on the inside to Didi for the equalizer. Brazil had been teasing all night, and finally they've got it right in front of net. Socrates clapping from the sideline, and Zico joining him on the bench, and finally they break open this Hungarian defense. Is someone going to find a winner, or are we destined for extra time? R9 finds Pele, and what a save from Grozic. More substitutions to go down here. Hungary making a change, and we have Brazil making a change here. Gerson off for Falcao. Inside to Jairzinho, and all of a sudden Pele in an abundance of space. That was his moment. And the 4-time World Cup winner puts his shot wide. And now we're headed for extra time, possibly penalties to settle this. On the inside to Pelé, and the Brazilians coming out strong in this second half. Jairzinho's not offside, and it only took them 5 minutes to get one on the board and put themselves in front for the first time in this match. And what a super match. The best of South America versus one of the best European sides of all time. And the boys from the favelas have left it late. Pelé inside again, finds Falcao. And that one might do it. They get some daylight and a 2-goal advantage now for Brazil. The Hungarians are broken. They didn't capitalize on their opportunities. And now this South American dynamite has gone off at Wembley. What a result. It's Dida, who isn't even supposed to be there. But he got the call up, and that's Pele's second assist. And now they're just showing off. Romario in off the bench with a helping hand of a couple of all-stars have absolutely strutted their stuff in extra time. It's getting embarrassing now for Hungary's golden age. You can't write off their quality. Like, they've had their opportunities like that. They just couldn't convert and get past Dida. The scoreline, it definitely complements the South Americans in this one. In this retro exhibition, this retro international exhibition, 1970s Brazil proved why they were the world champions in the 70s with a 4-1 dominating display in the end. This ERAS mode is just so fun, man. The replay value is absolutely insane. Now, I'm kicking myself knowing that I could have paired one of those two sides up against that dominant 08 to 2012 Spanish national team that were just unstoppable at the time, winning 3 major tournaments in a row. I don't think we're going to see an international dynasty like that ever again. As for our club fantasy matchup, I can't decide between 2017 Barcelona, the last time that the MSN trio linked up together, against 2011 Barcelona, one of the greatest ever teams assembled, versus prime peak Red Devils in the class of 92, or Arsenal Invincibles in 2004. I'm spoiled for choice, man. I can't pick the right combo to save my life. So guys, let me know what fantasy matchups you want to see in the next video down in the comments below, because for the life of me, I can't decide. There are about 50,000 different combos and scenarios I can make up in my head, but right in this moment, I've gone for these two, both historic starting 11s and both from 2 different eras respectively. The 4-3-3 from Barcelona, Neymar Suarez, blonde hair Messi up top, and arguably one of Manchester United's most famous sides assembled. Bex, Giggsy, Scholes and Keno in the middle of the park, Peter Schmeichel, Gary Neville, Jaap Stam, Dennis Irwin. The iconic names just roll off the tongue. But which super squad will reign supreme and claim the bragging rights of being the best club squad of all time? As this is a perfect matchup, I think, like the Barcelona 2017, the best team of the 2010s, up against the Red Devils of 99, probably the best team of the 90s, or the late 90s, I should say. Obviously, there's room for debate. That's what this ERAS mod is here to do. Settle footballing debates. What teams were better now? We compare them up against each other and see how they get on head to head. How was Neymar only 24 in this Barcelona team? I still can't comprehend it. The year before he left to PSG, is he going to show off and ball out versus 99 United, or can the Reds keep him quiet? It's still a mystery to me how Barca that year didn't win the Champions League, and also the last time they won it, 2015, that was the first year with Neymar as he gets the first chance of the game. Cole on the outside, big save from ter Stegen. The Blaugrana still to this day have not won the Champions League, and this is a time for them to get a bit of respect back. 2 somewhat fallen giants, if you will, as Andy Cole has another daring strike. The 99 treble winners getting off to the better start as Andy Cole's just peppering shots from outside the box. And this is how they play, just attack, attack, attack. Ooh, tackle from Giggsy. This might be... Giggsy is just taken out blonde Messi in his prime, in his peak. Is it going to be a second yellow card? He's already on a booking, and it's a double yellow for Ryan Giggs in this iconic exhibition matchup. So United taking off Dwight York for Teddy Sheringham. I don't know if that was the right choice, Fergie. I'm not going to tell the GOAT how to do his job, but I just don't see the tactical change there. United don't look like they're playing with 10 men, as they still can form these attacks, only operating with one striker up front, Andy Cole, who's gonna get the crumbs, and it's Cole to slice it into the back of the net, catching out ter Stegen, and United's number 9. He's been threatening all night. Jordi Alba couldn't deal with it, and he was first to react to the bobbling ball in the box. The clean half volley at the near post. It's perfection. This United defense has kept MSN quiet so far, and Dennis Irwin putting Messi in his pocket. Now Andy Cole goal. 10-man United. This would be a gutsy victory. Just frustrating Barcelona, like just holding on to the ball. They're not in a rush to get forward, but all of a sudden the space is opened up here for Paul Scholes, and Ter Stegen keeps 2017 Barcelona in it. And now it's time for some substitutions as the Blaugrana bring on Arda Turan. And it's Phil Neville who's coming on alongside his brother. Arda Turan already an instant impact, already getting involved. The Turk, he's going to set up Luis Suarez, who just needs one-on-one opportunity to claim a goal. And he gets the ball out the back of the net. Iniesta's just come off. And Arda Turan's already done more than the Spanish maestro. Peter Schmeichel had no chance in the world of saving that, as the Uruguayan buries it into the back of the net like we've known him to do throughout all these years. And a young Luis Enrique on the sidelines. Could this be setting up a grandstand finish? And they're in their flow state now. They're creating opportunities. The space is opening up. Wants another assist to his name. Neymar from deep gives it back. And look, they're all holding off from him. The United defense standing still like statues. And it's a carbon copy of the first goal. This time, Luis Suarez puts Barcelona into the lead in the 90th minute. They've waited up until the last few seconds of the match, possibly the last kick of the ball, and it was that Arda Turan's substitution for Iniesta, the super sub, and he's put Luis Suarez on a silver platter for 2 important goals, and that'll settle it. 2017 Barcelona leave it too late to overcome a 10-man treble 99 United. What a headline, what a match, and they didn't click into gear until the last 20 minutes of the game, and in dramatic fashion, Luis Enrique's Barcelona get it done. MSN, not much impact from Messi or Neymar, but Suarez the decider, the clinical king in front of goal. 3 attempts, 2 goals. Prime Suarez was something else. And those are the kind of matches, that is the kind of fun you can have with this ERAS mod. The classic clubs patch, I can now say, is the ultimate retro mod. Now, if you guys like what you've seen here with this ERAS mod, make sure to stick around for part 2, where I simulate a season with every single era. Every single league will be getting spun in career mode. We get to witness all the chaos unravel and unfold, so we can find out which team will conquer every decade and who will claim their crown as kings of an era. Make sure if you want to download the Club Classic ERAS patch, the link will be down in the description below, alongside some free retro mods that I've thrown together all in one mod list for you guys to check out and try at home. If you've made it this far, make sure to drop the video a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more retro modded content, some more videos with this ERAS mod, because I've got some ideas already. Stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see you all for part 2.